What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another new Comic Book Day Top 10 list. We had a ton of fantastic books come out this week. I'm so excited to talk about them. I picked up 11 total issues this week, so you know what that means. One of them did not make this week's Top 10 list. Let's jump right into it. Super quick, before I get started off on this week's Top 10 list, the winner of the 8K subscriber giveaway is Can You Dig It? Thank you so much, everybody, for the support. Congratulations, Can You Dig It? Comment down below on my pinned comment. We can discuss how I'm going to be getting this omnibus out to you. Let's jump right back to the Top 10 list. Alright everyone, I hope you're all having a fantastic day and you were able to get all of your new Comic Book Day issues in on time. As always, just be aware, as I begin to talk about this week's Top 10 list, there's definitely going to be spoilers. I get really excited talking about these books, I let some stuff slip up, maybe I get a little bit more in-depth with it than I would like to, but I do put a spoiler tag down low to give you a heads up when I get a little bit more into it. So this issue, this is the one that did not make this week's Top 10 list. We've got Marvel's Spider-Gwen, Gwenverse issue number 2. This is cover A. I'm not going to be getting too in-depth with this. Honestly, it's just a very okay series. If you read the Miles Morales Into the Spider-Verse series from, I think, 2018, you're basically reading the exact same thing, except instead of Miles, now you've got Gwen Stacy. I did like the artwork, though. The artwork is honestly fantastic. It just flows very well with the story they're trying to tell. I thought it was cool to see the different Gwens in there, too. I think this one, we had Thor, Captain America, Wolverine, but other than that, very cheesy, just modern story, in my opinion. I feel like they're trying to get everyone hyped up for just Gwen Stacy and Spider-Gwen in general. I mean, they got the new Into the Spider-Verse movie coming, I don't know, maybe this year, the next year, at some point, but she's definitely going to be in it, so Marvel just wants people to kind of know who she is. Other than that, though, I think the only reason I'm still reading this series right now is Spider-Zero's in it. I'm a big fan of that character. We don't know who she is, and going forward, speculation-wise, this could be a very big series if her identity is revealed. We have no idea who she is yet, so maybe she's a brand new, fresh character. I want to hear your opinions about this one down below, but now let's move on to the real top 10 list. So to kick this list off first, we've got coming in at number 10. This is Marvel's Hulk, issue number 6. This is cover A. Everyone said, wait for issue number 6. They said, this is the big issue, and they were correct. This was the big issue. This is the one that finally made me decide that I'm going to be dropping this series. I don't know what it is. I cannot get into it. I'm not enjoying it at all. I gave it the 6 issues, way more than I would have liked to. I held out for this big one because I think it was even the end of the arc, and people were hyping it up. And I don't know, I read 6 issues and I couldn't tell you what happened in the first 6 issues besides a ton of action. But the action was awesome. The artwork was fantastic. I thought the pages were incredible. Ryan Ottley did a phenomenal job on that. But as far as the story goes, going from Immortal Hulk, and I really wasn't even a huge fan of that towards the end, to this series, it's just not what I want to read. It's just not for me. With this issue, they did wrap up a lot of stuff. A new Titan did emerge. I really didn't think that was all that cool either. But like the other issues, an insane amount of action. And it was cool action. But for a Hulk story, I just want more plot. I want to see Bruce Banner. Basically everything that we had in the Immortal Hulk, I just kind of wanted a continuation of that. I was so interested in that series, and it just felt like it kind of, I don't know, wrapped up and ended, but we didn't really get that great of an ending. Just my opinion, though. I do know a lot of people are still loving this series, but that's why I said this is a little bit more of a bias thing. It's just me on this one. I can't get into it. So for those reasons, I do think I'm going to be dropping it, and we've got Hulk issue number 6 coming in at number 10. And next up on my list this week, we've got coming in at number 9. This is Aftershocks. We Live, Age of the Paladins, issue number 2. This is cover A. So I'm going to be honest with you, I was a huge fan of the first volume of We Live. I really hyped it up. I thought it was great. I love the artwork. I love the storytelling. I wasn't a huge fan of the ending, though, but I was definitely still going to give this one a shot. And then when they did the black issue, the white issue, I thought, I'm not a big fan of that either. I read both of them. I felt a little lost, especially because I read one before the other one. I think you had to read the black issue before the white issue. I don't really remember off the top of my head, but I reread them and I still thought it was just okay. Issue number 2, I thought things were going to get back on track. We were going to have a focused, centralized story. And to me, it still felt like it was all over the place. I don't know if this is going to be another ongoing. I don't know if this is just going to be a quick little 5-issue mini run like the first volume was. But I don't know. I'm not with it so far, so I wasn't a big fan of how the first volume ended. And I'm just not a big fan of how this one's starting off. However, I will say the artwork is top-notch. It is phenomenal. It's absolutely incredible. There's a lot of times I was staring at the artwork, I was looking at the pages, I wasn't even reading anything. I had to go back and reread everything, and then as I'm reading, I'm drifting off looking at the artwork again. It's colorful. It goes all over the pages. They really did a top-notch job on the artwork for this series. So for those reasons, I'm going to continue on with this series right now because I do think the story's going to get better. I really like the characters. I like how they were developed, but I want to see more, and just right now it kind of feels all over the place. But for those reasons, we've got We Live, Age of the Paladins, issue number 2, coming in at number 9. Next up this week, we've got coming in at number 8. This is Marvel's new one-shot. We've got Doctor Strange, Nexus of Nightmares, issue number 1. This is cover A. This was an extremely last-second pickup, and honestly, I'm really happy I grabbed it. As of late, I've been extremely critical with Marvel. I just really haven't been a big fan of a lot of their stuff, so I'm really happy that this one just felt very complete. It had a nice beginning, a nice middle, a nice ending, and when I was done with it, I felt very satisfied. I really liked the artwork as well. It flowed very well with the story that they were trying to tell. So without spoiling too much in this one, obviously we've got Doctor Strange. Baron Mordo was the main villain in this one. Nightmare plays a role too, but I think that Nightmare's role is more of a let's get fans used to seeing his face again in preparation of the new Doctor Strange movie. Just my opinion though, because obviously he still did play a role in this issue, but it mainly was just Baron Mordo is trying to secure a book so that we can bring Nightmare into their dimension, and then they can just take over everything. That's the main gist of it. Obviously, a lot of other stuff happens as well. If you had a light week, definitely check this one out. Like I said before, it felt very complete, and I was satisfied when I was done reading it. But for those reasons, we've got Doctor Strange, Nexus of Nightmares, issue number 1, the one-shot, coming in at number 8. Next up, we've got coming in at number 7. This is Images, Philadelphia, issue number 21. This is cover B. This is a phenomenal series from Image right now. I absolutely love it, and I can only thank you all for this one. I ended up stopping around issue 4, issue number 5, and you all said, hey, AR, you gotta pick it back up. It's only getting better. It's phenomenal, and I'm so happy I did. I re-picked it up around issue 12 or 13 or something like that. Haven't looked back, and it's only getting better at this point. With this, I will say, though, as much as I love it, as much as the artwork has grown on me, the storytelling, I think it's much better read in a trade paperback hardcover format. There is just so much stuff going on, so many characters, so much new stuff we keep getting constantly introduced to, so many plot points, so many new plot developments, and just presidents are making their way back into the series. There's just a lot of groups in this one right now. So like I said, I think it's better read in that type of a format. It's almost as if in preparation to read issue number 21 or just any of them in general, you need to read like issue 19 and issue number 20 just to remember what's going on and to see what they're still talking about. Because like I totally forgot that the National Guard came in and just sanctioned off Philadelphia. So now everyone that's in there is basically just stuck in there trying to live out their days and figure out how to take down these vampires. But as far as this issue goes, it was phenomenal. It just keeps getting better and better. This one in particular had 2 different plot points going on. We've got our main group. They're just trying to survive at this point. That one I wasn't too interested in. It was the Seesaw side of it. His side of the plot, best part of the issue, it was kind of a history lesson. He learned about the origin of the vampires. They were going in depth with it. I loved it. Once we made our way to the very end of the story, though, this is definitely going to be a small spoiler. We got introduced to a vampire slayer. This vampire slayer is going to be key to saving Philadelphia. I am just so pumped. It's a great time to be an indie reader, just a Philadelphia fan. And I'll tell you what, if you're not reading Nita Hawes' Nightmare blog, you definitely have to be picking that one up as well. But with all that being said, definitely check this series out. If you're not interested in grabbing 21 issues of it, just wait for a trade paperback, wait for a deluxe edition hardcover. But we've got Philadelphia, issue number 21, coming in at number 7. Next up this week, we've got coming in at number 6. This is Marvel's new ongoing series. We've got Captain America, issue number 0. This is one of the variant covers, and I'm going to be real with you. I'm not a big fan of this cover at all. You know, I usually try to get cover A when I can, but this one wasn't on my pull list. I wasn't able to get cover A. And when I saw the artwork, didn't even look at the story at all. I just saw the art. I thought, well, I don't even care what the cover looks like. I have to grab it anyway. The artwork went above and beyond. It was top notch. It was incredible. It was almost as if I was just watching a cinematic movie, but I had to read it instead. I was in awe when I was looking through this book. I'm reading the pages. I'm getting lost in the artwork. I have to go back and reread it. And then when I'm done reading the pages, I just went back and re-looked at the artwork as well. There was so much detail. It was phenomenal. Now, as the story itself goes, equally as good. They didn't really get in depth with a lot of stuff. This is issue number 0. This is kind of one of those like, hey, Captain America, hey, Marvel fans, this is what we're going to be pumping out very soon. So here's just a little taste of it, and I'm hooked. I'm excited for it. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm definitely going to be throwing it on my pull list. As far as this issue goes, it really was just straight action. We've got Captain America, Sam Wilson, also now as Captain America as well. Not a lot of story. They were just teamed up and just trying to take down a villain. I'm not going to be getting too in depth with that at all. But I'll tell you what, this is exactly what I wanted out of that Captain America Iron Man 5-issue miniseries that ended a little while ago. If that entire series was even a fraction of as good as this first issue, I would have been hooked on that one as well. Let's talk about this one a little bit more down low. But for those reasons, we've got Captain America 0 coming in at number 6. Here we go, folks. We are down to our top 5 issues of the week. We've got coming in at number 5 this week. This is AWA Studios Knighted issue number 5. This is cover A. This is also the end of the series, and what a phenomenal series it was. AWA, another hit on your hands. It was so good. The character development of Bob as just a person, not even as a superhero, is what made this series. Obviously, the action, the superhero stuff was cool too, but seeing who he was at the start of this to who he was at the very end, I was like, man, I love Bob and I need more issues of just Bob. He became an absolute badass. He saved the city. He did so many cool things just for everyone to still treat him like garbage at the very end because they had no idea he was the knighted superhero. The one problem that I always have with all of AWA is I just want more issues. Here's going to be a spoiler though. Once you got to the very end of it though, and I thought, man, it feels like they kind of rushed it just a little bit. Maybe we could have had a few more issues. Maybe they could have developed this gang a little bit more to make this whole fight at the end a little bit more worthwhile. They hit us with that volume 2. They indicated that another volume 2 was going to be coming out for this one. I'm so pumped for it. Hope you guys are too. Definitely check this one out. If you can't find the back issues, wait for the trade paperback. I'm sure one's going to be coming out soon. But for those reasons, we've got Knighted issue number 5 coming in at number 5. Next up this week, we've got coming in at number 4. This is DC's The Nice House on the Lake, issue number 8. This is cover B for it. What another phenomenal issue. I love that they aren't straying from the formula of this series at all. Every single issue is basically the exact same thing, and every time I'm reading it, like, man, I am so hooked. Let's turn another page. And then by the time the issue is ended, we get smacked with some massive cliffhanger, and I just can't wait for the next one. It's like every single issue, we learn about a new character. They develop that character. They show the relationship that that character has with Walter and basically what led them to being picked to be in this house and kind of saved from everything that was happening just, I guess, on planet Earth, or we don't even know what's going on with anything yet. And then they hit us with a cliffhanger at the end, and you just need the next issue immediately. So without too many spoilers, I guess I won't be getting too in-depth with this issue because, like I said, it really is kind of the same thing as every single other issue. We've got another character. It's the one on the front cover. We learn about her. We learn about her relationship with Walter, what led her to the house, and just her place in the house and how she doesn't really fit in well. But it was the ending. That one, I'm not even going to put a spoiler tag up for. You have to read this series. It's just somebody else is there. I need another one right off the bat. James Tynion IV, you did it again. I love your stuff. I love this series. And for those reasons, we've got The Nice House on the Lake, issue number 8, coming in at number 4. All right, so I know you're all watching this right now like, AR, you just hyped up Nice House on the Lake that much. How can you possibly put one of those books above that? Were they really that good? These 3 books were phenomenal. They absolutely were that good. So with that being said, we've got coming in at number 3 this week. This is Image's Slumber, issue number 2. This is cover A. I didn't know that I was going to love this series so much, but it is incredible. I love the artwork. I love how weird it is. This issue was a little bit slower, I'm going to be honest with you, but they're really setting the tone. They're really setting just how the story is going to be laid out, and they still developed a lot of plot as well. We got our detective, who is now being, I guess, possessed by this demon. He is the next victim, and this is going to be a lot of spoilers, I guess. So everything that he thought happened in his dream, his nightmare, actually was real. We've got our whole nightmare detective agency that's still trying to put a stop to other people's nightmares, but try to find what this demon is as well. She's going into dreams, trying to do some detective work. This is such a fun read. It's very refreshing. It feels like a very just new idea. And it's so different from so many other things that I'm reading right now. Like, you know, we've got so many serious books, but at the same time, this is very serious. But it's so weird and creepy, and especially the last issue, they're still in a dream, so things are just going to be just off the walls. I love it. I want to hear your opinions on this one down low, but for those reasons, we've got Slumber, issue number 2, coming in at number 3. And now we're down to the final 2 issues of the week. We've got coming in at number 2 this week. This is Image's Ice Cream Man, issue number 29. This is cover A. I absolutely love this issue. I thought it was phenomenal. It pained me to put it in at number 2 because I was so satisfied when I was done reading both of these issues, but it is a top 10 list. One of these issues had to take the crown at number 1, so sadly I had to put this one in at number 2, but honest to God, both of these are deserving of the number 1 spot. I don't think I've ever done that on this channel before, but seriously, if I could give both of them number 1, I would. But with this issue, it just feels like the whole story of the Ice Cream Man has turned into just, and here's the moral of the story, and they just keep hitting home just a little bit harder. With this issue in particular, we had a character, he passed away, and his friend is grieving that character. But the entire issue is kind of focused on the character that died. They're showing him everything that happened to him throughout his life. All the problems he had, all the kind of baggage that he left behind, and just everything that he was dealing with on Earth. So the entire moral of the story was just, enjoy the things that you can while you still can. And by the time I was done reading, I was like, man, I'm getting all these feels from just a comic book. Yeah, that's exactly how people should be living their lives, but they're so worried about all these other things happening in their lives that they're too busy to just focus on what is just in front of them. So for those reasons, I'm like out of breath on this one. This was an insane issue. I really did love it. But we've got coming in at number 2, Ice Cream Man, issue number 29. And this is it, everyone. We've got coming in at number 1 this week. We've got AWA Upshots, The Crimson Cage, issue number 5. This is cover A. This is the series finale, and John Lee's. You had an incredible story that was told in this one. I think when I initially talked to him, he made the comparison of that this was a tragic story like Hamlet. He either said Hamlet or Romeo and Juliet. I don't remember either of them off the top of my head, but once you were done reading this and everything just did a full circle, it was like, wow. I almost don't really even want to get into this issue because the entire issue would basically be a spoiler. It's just everything that was built up over just the other 4 issues has led to this moment. Everything that Chuck Frenzy and his wife have worked for and kind of, I guess they really didn't work for it. I don't want to spoil it. You got to read it for yourself. But everything has led up to this moment and everything just came crashing down on them, and just the ending. Oh, it was such an incredible issue. But for those reasons, we've got The Crimson Cage, issue number 5, taking the crown absolutely at number 1. John Lee's AWA Upshot. You did a phenomenal job on this one. Congratulations. So what'd you guys think about this week's new comic book day? Honestly, this is a fantastic week. There were a few books that I really wasn't that big of a fan of, but once we started talking about the higher books on the list, it was like, man, they're getting better and better and better. I'm sorry I didn't get more in-depth with the number 1 and number 2 choice, but I really didn't want to spoil it. I just wanted to tell you my thoughts on it, and we can get a little bit more in-depth with it in the comments section, because then it's a little bit tougher to spoil things for certain people. But definitely let me know what your thoughts on the week were. What was your favorite books? Which ones did I miss out on? And thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. It really does help. And if you don't want to miss out on any of my upcoming content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down low and the little bell to get notified every time I drop new content. You won't regret it. And I've got 2 more videos sitting off the side here with more Vine comic book content. Click on one of those and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.